Everyone get one?
Okay, folks, good afternoon and welcome to the April 19th hybrid meeting of Chatham's Historic Business District Commission. As soon as our clerk, Sam Strivett, reads the governor's directives concerning these minutes, we'll do a roll call to make sure that we have a quorum. As soon as the quorum is established, first order of business after that will be the minutes reviews. And as soon as the minutes are reviewed, then we'll move on to the application. Sam?
Pursuant to Governor Healy's March 29th, 2003 signing of the Acts of 2023 extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency, suspended certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Law C-30A, paragraph 20, until March 31st, 2025, this meeting of the Chatham Historic Business District Commission is being conducted in person and via remote participation. Every effort will be made to ensure the public can adequately access the proceedings as provided for in the order. A reminder that persons who would like to listen to the meeting while in progress may do so by calling the phone number 1-508-945-4410, conference ID 675-453-692, or join the meeting online via Microsoft Teams through the link in the posted agenda. While this is a live broadcast and simulcast on Channel 18, despite our best efforts, we may not be able to provide for real-time access. We will post a record of the meeting on the town's website as soon as possible. In accordance with town policy, the public can speak to any issue or hearing or business item on the agenda during the meeting when recognized by the chair.
Thank you, Sam.
You're welcome.
All right, now do a roll call. Vice Chair Darcy Sequin.
Darcy Sequin is here.
Okay. Clerk Sam Strivett.
Sam Stribert is here.
Okay. Regular member Doug Grattan.
Doug Ratton is here.
Our first alternate Steve DeBoer.
Steve DeBoer is here.
Our second alternate Tim Gilmore.
Tim Gilmore is here.
Okay, I understand that Bob Burns will not be with us, and Dan Silver, the chair, is here as well, so we do have a quorum. All right, now the minutes reviews, and those are the minutes held of the meeting held on April 5th, 2023. Does anybody have any changes they'd like to make or suggestions?
Yeah, I just have one item on the very last page.
Alrighty.
I wasn't present at the meeting, so I should not be included in the vote to adjourn.
Well, all right, we were trying to make an exception for you, Steve.
Okay.
All righty, is that it?
Doug Ratton will make a motion to accept the minutes as presented with the change that Steve Duell was not present for the meeting to be adjourned.
Thank you, Doug.
Darcy Sequin will second the motion.
Okay, you ready? Dougie? Yeah. Darcy?
I approve. Darcy
Sam?
Sequin approves.
Sam Stribert approves.
Okay, Doug?
Doug Ratton approves.
Tim?
Tim Gilmore approves.
Okay. Steve, you're not going to ask? Okay. And Dan Silver approves. Very good. All right, Sam?
Yes, so starting with the applicants for signs, 23042 Sweet Dreams Ice Cream and Candy, care of Corey Metters. Application to install additional sign to the existing wall sign located at 1579 Main Street. And Sarah Clark, the Central Permitting Coordinator, has determined that the The sign complies with the sign bylaw.
Good afternoon.
Good
You'll
afternoon.
introduce yourself?
Good afternoon. For the record, Corey Metters, new owner of 1579 Main Street in the Shopaway Plaza. On March 1st of this year, my wife and I purchased the ice cream shop known as Sweet Dreams from the Missouri family. We are going to change it to Sweet Dreams Ice Cream and Candy. That's why we are before you tonight. Essentially, what I want to do is add another panel to the previous sign. It is a 56-inch long, 12.5-inch tall, white background, black raised 3D letters. It's the same material, colors as the existing panels that are on the building. Now, this panel that will read "and candy" is just to expand our customer knowledge that we have another product that we're offering. Upon approval from HPDC, we have contracted Chatham Sign Shop to create and install this sign. They created the previous one, so for consistency, they would be the vendor who would create and install this sign. So I'm happy to answer any questions, but it's pretty much the spiel.
Okay, Corey, thank you very much. Good to see you, and it's fairly straightforward. Let's find out what the commission thinks. Steve, can we start with you?
Sure, it is very straightforward. It doesn't look like you're changing the facade at all, or any of the trim, or anything else that goes along with that. So I think it's pretty straightforward and easy explanation.
Okay, Darcy?
I agree with Steve. I think it's great. Good luck to you.
Thanks.
Nice to see someone in there. Thank you.
Sam?
Yes, I have no questions, so.
All righty. Doug?
Corey, are you adding any lighting or anything to the sign?
No, there is some existing lighting on the property. That is what's going to stay at the moment. If there is any additional lighting, we will talk to Tony Zombas, the property owner, but we are not proposing any additional lighting on the property.
I have no more questions.
Okay, Tim?
I don't have any questions.
And I don't have any questions either. All right, Doug?
Under application signs, 23-042, Sweet Dreams Ice Cream and Candy, care of Corey Metters. Application to install an additional sign to the existing wall sign located at 1579 Main Street as presented.
Darcy Sequin will second the motion.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Steve?
I vote to approve.
Darcy?
Darcy Sequin votes to approve.
Sam?
Sam Strawbridge votes to approve.
Doug?
Doug Ratton votes to approve.
Tim?
Tim Gilmore votes to approve.
And Dan Silva votes to approve as well. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you a little later. All righty, Sam?
So the next applicant is a site improvement, 23-44, Gregory Goulet. Application to install a 5-foot cedar fence located at 38 Cross Street.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
If you'll introduce yourself, we'll be on our way. And
I'm sorry?
a brief synopsis of what you're proposing to do, please.
Basically, on the back side of the house there, along inside of the privet hedges, I'm looking to put a 5-foot cedar fence right along the cobblestones there. Basically, right, perpendicular with the.
Got to be at the mic.
With the privet hedges, I'm sorry. So that's, Pro Fence is going to be the installer and make it also.
Okay, and this is not a picket fence. It has a cap, a rail cap,
It'll have a
obviously,
cap,
at least
yes.
what we're seeing,
It's
right,
going to be
yeah.
a tongue and groove, 5 foot high and 24 feet long.
Okay, and are you planning on staining it or painting it or anything?
I am not sure. We may leave it natural. We may just put a light stain on it. That's yet to be determined.
Okay, all righty, we'll see what we can do about that. Steve?
Oh, well, you asked the questions that I was going to ask.
Sorry.
But,
I won't do that.
no, it's okay. No, I think it's probably fine. I was going to ask the same thing if you were going to paint it or stain it, but it just answered that, so.
Do you have a preference?
There's it's the old Bradford Inn. And there are quite a few fences in between the properties right now. I don't have one. But most of those are white. And most of them are plastic.
Yeah.
So I'm looking to go natural cedar, and I think it'll look sharp.
Okay. Well, I guess you certainly have that option later on if it starts, if the cedar sometimes doesn't always age very well. So, if you have
I
an
guess
inclination to paint it,
Is that okay? Is that a preference then, or?
Well, actually,
just
if you do that, you'd have to come back for approval.
To stain it?
Yes, to change the color, yeah, so that's why I was kind of, yeah.
Well, I was planning on staining it. I
Okay.
mean,
All right, well, if you plan on standing it now,
then might as well put it in right in there, yeah. I've been kind of
this
looking
will be good
around.
enough. We'll amend the motion, and you'll be all set.
Okay.
All right? Darcy?
I think it's fine.
Sam?
Yes, I have no questions.
Okay, Doug?
What color stain were you going to stain?
Probably a light type of gray.
Okay.
The one I've actually looked at, where Eastwood's building up on Route 137 there, they put a new fence in and they lightly stained it. I think it's called a Cape Cod gray.
Yep.
So that's what I'd be doing, just so it doesn't turn later on.
All right, that's my only question.
Okay, Tim?
Just one question. There's no proposed lighting that's going to go on this fence at all?
No.
No. No further questions.
Okay, I'm all set. All right, Doug, just amend it so we can,
So Doug Gratt will make a motion under site improvements, application 23-044, Gregory Goulet, application to install a 5-foot cedar fence located at 38 Cross Street, to be stained light gray or left natural, as presented.
Darcy Sequin will second the motion.
okay, motion was made and seconded. Steve?
I will vote to approve as amended.
Darcy?
Darcy Sequin votes to approve.
Sam?
Sam Stryber votes to approve.
Doug?
Doug Grattan votes to approve.
Tim?
Tim Gilmore votes to approve.
And Dan Silva votes to approve as well. Thank you. All right.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Gonna look nice. All right, Sam, where are we?
And the next application is an addition or alteration, 23-45, Judith L. Smith, application to replace shingles with clapboards on a portion of the structure located at 495 Main Street.
Here's Judy.
Okay?
Judy Smith, 459 Main Street. Most of my building is clapboard. There is 2 sections on the left side that are shingles painted white. You probably don't even know that it's not clapboard. Having a lot of trouble with moisture with the shingles, so trying to resolve that with the clapboard. That's it.
All right, can you tell us a little bit about the material you're proposing to use?
We're doing an
everybody's-
AZAC clapboard because it's moisture resistant and is a better product than trying to do wood or something else, and better than a hardy board,
All right. Thank you, Judy.
okay?
Steve?
No, I was going to ask you if there was a particular reason why you were removing that. I guess just the fish scale shingles, and you just explained that. You're having some issues.
No, I'm not removing this.
Got to be,
You can't,
Oh, sorry.
I think
Sorry
there's a
about that.
laser there. There's a
Sorry.
laser pointer there
is there a
somewhere.
laser pointer there?
I don't think she's gonna make it.
It's gone.
So the fish scale stay, so you're removing the,
It's all right, Judy.
All right.
Don't worry about it.
Basically, the green is staying.
okay,
It's only the shingle around it. It's not the cut shingles that are ornate or
And that
whatever you
little
want to call it.
gable, yeah.
okay. All right, so then none of the other trim,
Just the shingles on the right where the one window is and the shingles below the green
gotcha.
above the picture
Okay.
window.
Okay. Then I have no other questions, thank you.
All right, very good. Thank you, Judy. Darcy?
I don't think it's going to be hardly noticeable, the change, so I'm okay with it. I have no questions.
Hey, Sam?
I didn't hear whether you thought that this AZAC product will pretty well match
It'll be white, just like the rest of the building.
Yeah. You have to paint it, don't you?
Well, some people say you do, some people say you don't. I am gonna paint it. It'll be white like the rest of the building.
Okay, so, all right, and the green triangle is?
It's not gonna be touched,
You're not gonna touch,
not gonna be touched.
I see. And what about the trim around the windows?
It won't be touched.
Oh, okay.
It's just
It's just the
literally
frame.
replacing shingles that
I know.
are not good with the clapboard.
Okay. Thank you.
Doug?
I got no questions, it's pretty straightforward.
Jim?
I don't have any questions.
Okay, I don't have any questions either. I'd be curious to see how well it matches, but you might have to, you know, might want to think
Well, it's
about.
also around the corner. I mean, it's gonna match, it's gonna be the same color.
Yeah, yeah.
So it'll match pretty well.
Yeah, don't be fooled that AZAC can mildew, so,
Oh, I'm sure it can mildew,
Yeah,
but
but you can wash
you
it
wanna see
down.
what the shingles look like?
that's all right, Judy.
Probably not so good.
Thank you. No, everybody thinks that AZAC is, you know, foolproof, and once you get it up, that's it, you don't have to worry about it. It's not quite the case. So, all right.
All right, so Doug Rat will make a motion under additions/alterations, application 23-045, Judith L. Smith. Application to replace the shingles with clapboards on a portion of the structure located at 459 Main Street as presented.
Darcy Sequin will second the motion.
Okay, motion is made and seconded. Darcy?
Darcy Sequin approves.
Sam?
Sam Stryver approves.
Doug?
Doug Ratton approves.
Tim?
Tim Gilmore approves.
Steve?
I approve.
Dan Silver approves as well. Thank you, folks. Good luck, Judy.
Thank you. I hope it holds up better than this.
Yeah, well,
You want your,
all right, Sam.
The next application, 23-48, JSW LLC, care of Antonia Butwell. Application to replace the siding, install brick pavers, modify rear elevation, remove skylights, relocate the AC condenser, and expand the parking area located at 584 Main Street.
Very good. Good afternoon.
Hi, I'm Antonia Butwell. I'm the architect for the renovations to 584 Main Street. I've been designated by the owner, Sandy Wyckoff and Jeff Lang, to present the proposed changes today. So this is the existing Pentimento clothing store, and it's going to become the Chatham Kids Company clothing store. It'll be primarily interior renovations, but I'll go through the proposed exterior work that we're doing today for your review. So if you first look at the demolition plan on sheet DM 100 in the package, you can see that we're proposing to remove the hallway bathroom bump out in the rear left corner. You can see that right there with the dashed lines. And then if you go into the proposed elevations on sheet A300, we are proposing to rebuild those exterior walls using the exact materials and finishes as the existing building. The reason for this change is to expand the parking area at the back of the building. And you can see that in the site plan on sheet A500. So you can see the bottom site plan shows an expanded parking area with that bump out removed. So that's the biggest change that we're making, and it's on the back of the building, so you won't see that from the front, you'll see it from the driveway. All the roofing, siding, trim, and building elements, such as the wood corbels at the roof overhang, will be replaced to match the existing. I just want to clarify that the siding and all of those building elements are only going to be replaced at that area of work. We're not going to paint or replace anything at the front. That's all staying the same. So it's just in that kind of back corner and back of building area. So additionally, we're proposing to relocate the HVAC condensers and water meter from the side of the building to the rear of the building, as you can see in the site plan there. And then there will be 2 new doors, one at the back and one at the side back, in that back corner. Those are just going to be black to match the front, painted black to match the front door. The spec can be found on sheet A500. The decorative exterior light fixtures and floodlights are also going to be replaced at the front and side of the building. Those specs are also shown on this sheet. And then the skylights in the loft area on the upper floor will be removed, and the roof will be patched. You won't see that from the front, but you'll see it from the side. You can see those elevations also on A300. The last change that we're proposing is to replace the carpeted step at the front door with a brick ramp and landings similar to the neighboring building, or neighboring business attached building. This is an important update to create an ADA accessible entrance to the business. You can see images on the sheet here in the bottom right-hand corner showing 584 Main Street carpeted step, and then 582 Main Street, the brick kind of ramped entry areaway. We have a little bit more of an elevation change, so it's going to require a ramp with a landing. And then off to the side, you'll see the brick layout and the slope ADA compliance there in a diagram. So that's the full scope. We made every effort to keep the exterior changes for this project as minimal as possible and keep it all mostly to the back, except for hopefully making that improvement in the front at the brick. And we kept most of the front, or all of the front facade untouched. Yeah, so let us know if you have any questions or comments, and that's it.
All right, thank you. Before we start with the commission members, I believe that there's somebody in the audience that would like to make or has questions about this project. If you take a podium, please, and introduce yourself.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I don't know if this is the appropriate way to ask the questions now or wait for the presentation. I'm comfortable either way.
Well, if you want to make the I thought it would be nice if you spoke so that the commission members would understand what's going on. Or
Sure,
could,
okay. So for the record, Corey Metters, I am the principal owner of the property of 4, 6, and 8 Main Street, which is the abutting property. I own number 4 and number 6 Main Street. My business partner, Steve Ross, unfortunately, who owns number 8 CV Street, is in the hospital, so he was unable to attend tonight's meeting, but he definitely wanted me to attend this and kind of give us some input on the project. We are very sympathetic to the project as far as the work that's going to be needed to be done to this building. We do not want to do anything to delay it because we don't like seeing empty storefronts on Main Street, and this has been idle for 2 summers. So we are grateful that the applicant is looking to do some work to the building, aesthetically, the front, and everything else. But we've had some limited conversations, and the only concern we have, and this is more for informational purposes for the board, we're gonna have to do follow-up with our attorneys probably down the road, but the driveway has a long history involved in it. The property line, it runs kind of just off-center, up the middle of the driveway, and there is a parking easement that was granted to the Pentimento property back when the Zimmerman family owned it many, many years ago. So there's been parking in that alleyway for decades, and it has existed. So our concern, and as I listen to the application in a moment, is how is the intent of the new parking lot going to be navigated that is not going to create any safety issues for us or any of the surrounding area? So that is more, not necessarily an HBDC jurisdiction question, but it is something that is on the radar that I want to listen to very carefully to make sure that what is in place meets all the requirements. So at this moment, that's really all I have to say. I haven't thoroughly looked through the plans. I've been briefly, described what was going on a short time ago by the applicant, but I don't have much more to say, and I'm happy to answer any questions too.
Okay, the HBDC does not have any jurisdiction over that. However, we do have jurisdiction over any hardscaping that might be involved in creating that new parking area. All right,
Right, and my understanding is probably there's going to be this gravel, so there would be consistent to which is essentially what is around that area now.
Right, okay. I'd like to get the applicant and the owner an opportunity to respond.
So probably most helpful would be sheet A500, which shows the proposed site plan. Should be the last sheet. There it is. Yep. So you can see we actually noted on there the property line, like he was saying, is a little bit offset from the center, and then about 2 feet closer to the other property on Seaview Street is the easement line. None of our proposed work is going near that. It's just going to be in that back corner, and all we're proposing to do there is expand the crushed bluestone gravel into that area.
Okay. Are you modifying the design in any way to accommodate this parking?
The building design.
I'm sorry?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
My question is, are you modifying the building in any way to accommodate that parking?
Only the 584 Main Street building where we're taking off that back bump out.
They're doing a demolition of part of their building.
Yeah, we're demolishing just a few feet off that back corner, if you want to go back to the demo plan.
Okay, I was reading it as a change of wall, but, okay, well, that
Yeah.
raises a concern, Darcy, to me. If they're doing demolition of any part of that building, wouldn't that require a demolition application? I mean, it certainly does to me. The building's old enough if you're going to take off a wing or,
Oh, from us,
huh?
from us,
Yeah.
yeah. Is it a separate little piece that seems to be on the back that you can take away? What about the foundation of it and removing all of that so that automobiles can?
It's not, it is attached. It's, that'll be removed as well, the foundation, that portion of it. And that wall will be rebuilt, that back wall, a few feet in.
But it's an interior wall, isn't it?
It's an exterior wall.
That's,
It's that back corner.
Reducing the footprint of the building.
yeah, no, I'm trying to get at a little bit of what the specifics are, because an interior wall has to be completely resided and, in order to become an exterior wall and insulated.
Yeah, it's going to be a brand-new wall.
And
back.
presumably, all the trim elements,
Yes.
you want to match the adjacent trim elements
Yeah.
so that it looked like it was always that way.
Exactly. Yeah, so this shows the existing on the left and proposed on the right. So we'll,
Yeah, but you didn't take it from the same perspective so we could see, have a sense of what's being taken away.
yeah, that dashed line on the upper left
I
hand.
wish she had a laser
Oh,
so she could point,
I can point and then come back and speak.
okay?
They'll knock on the window.
Just don't talk. Oh, I see. To the right of that window where the electrical service comes in.
That's right. So where that window is getting taken off. That dash line shows,
Does the electric service stay there?
yeah,
Okay.
you can see it on the image just to the right of it. Number 2.
Number 2, I can't see anything, you know. Oh, yeah, okay. Thank you.
And then just below that, it's basically the same wall, just pushed in a little bit.
And the reason is that the space that was there,
It's-
existing, can't fit how many cars?
It can't fit any cars right now. It's just kind of a,
Okay, so how many, is just one car gonna go in the space?
I think 2 cars will fit in there, yeah.
2 cars? Because you're the
But
extra-
currently it's grass, so that nobody's tried parking into that space, but we're gonna put bluestone gravel there to put,
But you're
up to
gonna
2.
have to excavate that foundation. It's not a
That's-
basement, is it?
no.
Okay, well, I didn't sound like I was cross-examining you. but
No, it's okay.
I just
I
want
think
to
we
know
cleared it up.
that it's being,
Yeah. Yeah, so that chunk on the back of the building, we are looking to reduce it, the footprint.
Okay, Doug?
You know, I'm not sure about the demolition delay situation in this case, you know, but I understand what they're trying to accomplish, so,
Well, it wouldn't be a demolition delay. It would be whether they're approved or not.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
All right. We don't have delays, we can just say no.
Okay, well, I don't have a problem the way it's been presented, understanding, what our jurisdiction is, I understand Mr. Metter's points. Looking at what I've been presented with, I don't see a problem with what they want to do.
Okay. Jim?
I don't see a problem other than, if there's no existing foundation and the required demolition, if everything's gonna match exactly using the same materials, and it's just changing the size of that bump out, which it looks like it is, reducing that, a little bit. I don't have a problem with that, however, I do see the secondary impacts raised by, Mr. Metas, and, also just the structural aspect of removing that and the impact it may have on the surrounding area, the soil and whatnot.
Yep, we do have a structural engineer that did a full set of structural drawings, which weren't going to affect the exterior, so we didn't include that, but that is part of the building permit application, is the full structural set. So he's designed the foundation under that wall that is being replaced, basically, in the back.
Yeah, Tim, there's plenty of ways to get a foundation in there and a wall that'll hold up, no problem whatsoever.
Okay.
So, all right, that can be done.
Is there a foundation under that interior wall?
Sorry, say that again, is there a,
The wall that's now gonna be outside has to have a 4-foot.
there is not, we're putting in a new foundation in that area.
Is there a basement under the store?
No,
So the whole store is on a slab?
we're putting in a new interior radiant floor heat slab on the inside. But the foundation of the building is just blocks at the perimeter.
That was my
There's
question.
no, it's just dirt under the floor. There's no basement. So we'll have to put in a new block foundation wall where we're taking it
Does the
out.
framing go to the wall, or is it non-structural
The framing,
of the store?
the floor framing,
The roof framing, the second floor framing?
the second floor framing is not over this part. There's no second floor over this part.
Okay.
Yeah.
But on the other side of the wall is. The new exterior wall,
Yeah.
it's 2 stories on the, I see the roof coming down.
No, if you go to the plan, it's probably easiest to see.
Oh, that roof is
Oh,
far
yeah.
back,
Yeah, it's set back.
so it's just a 1-story wall.
Yeah, actually, that image is, I'll point to the image.
Go ahead.
That's the part that we're modifying, so it's 1 story. There's not going to be any roof, or sorry, any second floor above it.
Okay, the parapet, there's no parapet, but there's that overhanging soffit.
Yeah, the overhang. Mhm.
Will you be cutting it at a good point so that it's not an awkward? It resembles what was existing
Yes,
in terms of the trim?
yes, that's the intention.
Okay. It's very dimensionally controlled. Where you cut it is you're cutting it so that the trim will be perfect,
Right,
not the other way around, so
Right.
that the car will fit.
yes,
Oh, good.
exactly.
That I like.
All right, Steve?
Yeah, I don't have any, well, I have a couple of questions, I guess. Is there any indication that the part of the building that you want to remove was part of the original building from 1888? Or is there any indication that maybe that was added on at some point? Because I see it's being used now as a bathroom in a hallway.
Do you know any history of that? To me, it looks all part of the same building.
I'm Sandy Wyckoff. I'm the owner of the property. The building itself was moved to that location, that it was not built there. And so I think that that part was added on specifically to accommodate a bathroom and indoor plumbing. Once the structure had been moved. I can't tell you what year, but I can tell you it's not part of the original structure that was moved there. And the other thing, just to go back to a question that you had about the foundation, there's no foundation for this building. I don't believe, I was stunned that it was even still standing. When Antonia talks about there being blocks around the perimeter of the structure, there's 2 cinder blocks and a very large expanse, and then 2 more cinder blocks, and then a very large expanse. And that's how it goes all the way around the building, which was astounding to me. I really don't know how it's still standing. When we pulled up the floor to see what we had to work with, all of the joists were rotted, and there was nothing really holding up the floor at all, except some things that had been pushed underneath it. And it's really just on dirt. That's all there is, a few cinder blocks and a lot of dirt. So at this juncture, we're talking about putting a foundation in, pouring the cement floor, and the hope is by putting in radiant floor heating and not touching the outside walls except for this spot, that we can maintain the integrity of the building for at least another 100 years. That's the hope. As far as the parking goes, the building was presented as if it had parking, but as we all know, what's presented is not always the reality of what you have. And it would be too tight of a turn, even with the easement, to take a car in the area. The area that we are removing where the bathroom is really in ill repair. It's very moldy, it's disgusting. Nobody would ever want to use it for any reason at any time. It's got rusted bars on the windows. You don't want windows in the back of a retail establishment anyway. So it seemed to make perfect sense to move that. And the bonus was that the electric meter was on the other side of where we wanted to cut it. So that was the only bonus we got out of this. So the idea is to clean up that entire back part. One of the first conversations that I had about it after we purchased the building was the ill repair that the back of the property was in. And we're hoping to address all of that, about leakage and gutters that weren't where they needed to be and just how ugly it was. So we're hoping to clean that all up. We hope that we can use it for some parking. That's the hope. It's never a good idea to have any kind of a business that doesn't have any parking attached to it. So we're hopeful, and we're really trying to do it so that we have at least the possibility of having a little bit of parking behind the building.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Steve, do you have any further?
Well,
questions?
the fact that that part may have been added probably doesn't add to the historical significance of the building. If it was added sometime after 1888. The other thing is that the interior wall that's going to become the exterior wall is probably some sort of a bearing wall because there's a second floor above it. So it's got to be built structurally well enough to hold up the second floor. It's probably a rim joist there in that area of the wall to hold up the second floor. So that little bump out might be not that difficult to remove, other than having to put a foundation under the new exterior wall.
They don't even need a foundation, a 2-foot
Yeah.
cross footing would
Yeah.
do anything they want to do.
The other question I had is, are you going to do anything to sort of protect the building, either with bollards or curb stops or something to prevent someone from crashing into the side of the building? You may want to consider that.
At the back,
Yeah, at
the new parking area?
These 2 parking spaces that you're creating, you might want to put some kind of protection there,
A bollard at the corner.
something, or curb stops or something to keep them from running into the side of the building.
Well, the public's not going back there, right?
Well, yeah, but anybody who drives a car can run into a building.
And they weren't on the candy shop either.
Yeah, right.
Well, consider yourself lucky, because cinder block would be a huge upgrade from the antique brick corners they used to put on. You have a lot more support than a lot of older houses here in Chatham and around the Cape have.
Yeah.
So that's a plus. My only concern, again, folks, is that the proposing to demolish some portion of this building without a review from us So it shouldn't hold you up. It's just, we just go down and take a look, and that's it. So I don't know, what do you think? I'm not too keen about, you know, a couple of walls coming down without us going down and looking at it. And also, as Steve pointed out, the antique parts of the entrance, while we're down there, we could look at those too, get better ideas, so.
The way Sandy's explained it, it sounds like it's rotting and everything, but if everyone feels more comfortable about going to look at it, I'd be okay with that, but,
Yeah, I don't know. I
so
have
it
no
doesn't
question about
delay
that.
what,
They're against the same thing that the Ace Hardware was against. They ended up doing essentially the same thing.
right?
But it just, it's demolishing something, or allowing something to be demolished in the HPDC without us.
What's your time frame for demolition?
We've had a team ready to go. We're just waiting for this. You know, just the reality of it is, if we can't get in and get it done before Memorial Day, then it's gonna have to wait until September. I won't disrupt Main Street in the
We
summer
don't take that
season.
long. You put an application in, and we could go down and have a site visit within what, 2 weeks? See them in 2 weeks?
Dan, if I
Yes, sir.
can I step in for a second? I'm familiar with this property, and I looked at it several times and deeply, and I am certainly aware of a lot of problems that are going on there in the back and so on and so forth, and I can certainly say that it is in ill repair, and I don't see any problem with that piece being removed. But that's, you know, I just know that there's a lot of structural and so on that they're going to correct, which I know they really have their hands full. So I have seen that, and I am aware of it myself. But that's just my 2 cents I wanted to let you aware of, so.
Well, again, it's not, I have no question that everybody is right. It's just a question of a permit or not, or just a review. That's my concern.
Well, I'm not so concerned about that, although we should emphasize that that's our normal procedure, to actually look at something so that.
Yeah, I agree
these
with both of
drawings may
you.
have drawn, not included. I mean, we have some photographs, and it's pretty plain Jane looking thing.
I'm going to agree with
So,
both of them also.
I think we could,
As long
I
as
could,
the officers on the commission are okay with not having a separate demolition application. All right, Darcy, are you all right?
Yes, I'm fine with it.
Sam, you all right?
yeah.
Okay,
I'm fine as well.
and you're on public record.
Public record.
I think
Alrighty.
Mr. Metters had another
Yes,
comment.
Mr. Metters, will you, yes.
I also have some questions too. I have questions about,
Actually, no, I think the direction you're going in is fine. We have one particular issue that we are gonna work out. I think someone made a comment, how they represented the property, because there are actually 2 easements that are in place that we're gonna have to flush out. One actually from the old Peterson property, but as an abutter, I would love to see this project in the intent of the work they want to do approved sooner than later, because as has been stated, summer's creeping up on us. So if they can get in and do the work structurally, I don't have any objection to the sidings. I don't have any objection to the corner being clipped off myself. It's had a dirt basement forever. I did a foundation work project on our property back in 2012. It's a very easy area to excavate, clean up, and organize. So I would encourage the board to move this project forward, let them kind of do what they want to do, let us work out our issues, because if they don't, they know for a fact they have 3 legal parking spots through the parking easement, so they're not going to lose parking at least. But I don't want them to have to lose a summer with any further delay. So I'm supportive of moving this project forward, and let us work out our issues with the parking and the parking easements. But delays are not good for any of us, even as an abutter, so.
thank you.
Thank you, Corey. I just want everybody to understand I'm not being a nasty old man. I want to make sure that I'm not remiss in doing my duty here. So, ready?
Yeah, I just have a couple
Should we take 2
questions.
votes?
What's that?
Should we take 2 votes? Vote on the demolition and then vote on?
We haven't got a demolition.
No, we don't have a permit for it, or
All right.
application.
So, Darcy?
Yeah, I just have a couple questions for you on A500. You have 2 pictures of shingles. It says existing gray asphalt and then proposed gray, and they're 2 different colors. Was that just the way it was?
Oh, one is an actual image of the roof.
But is it going to match?
It's going to match.
Okay,
Yeah,
it
has to
does say
match.
that, but I
Yeah.
just wanted to clarify that.
It will match.
Okay. And the lighting, I'm good with that. I think that's certainly appropriate for the area. That's all I have.
Steve?
No, we're,
Oh, I thought you said you had additional.
Nope.
You? All right. All right, Doug?
Okay, so Doug Grant will make a motion under additions/alterations, application 23-048, JSW LLC, care of Antonia Butwell, application to replace the siding, install brick pavers, modify rear elevation, remove skylights, relocate the AC condenser, and expand the parking area located at 584 Main Street as presented.
Darcy Seacon will second the motion.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Darcy?
Darcy approves.
Sam?
Sam Starbird approves.
Doug?
Doug Grattan approves.
Tim?
Tim Gilmore approves.
Steve?
Steve DeBoer approves.
And Dan will abstain. Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
passed.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, Sam.
23-48, I just read that. 23-50, Janice and Sam Payne, application to construct an 8x12 shed located at 15 Evergreen Road. Oh, we have
I don't think they're here.
We virtual? We are virtual.
There you go.
If you'd like to introduce yourself, sir?
Absolutely. Good afternoon. Thanks, everyone. I'm Sam Payne on behalf of Janice Payne, 15 Evergreen Lane. Thanks for taking the time to be here today. Sorry I couldn't attend in person. I'm stuck sort of traveling and away from where I wanted to be. But something fairly simple you'll see in your packets today. We're hoping to construct a small garden shed, storage of tools and general material storage so that we can keep the property clean and nice, presentable. The finish color, we'll paint the shingles the same color of the house so that it matches, and the location of the shed is reasonably invisible from Route 28 as well as Evergreen Lane. So we expect any disruption or change of view to be minimal, if anything, at best. We'll base the area with 3/4 native stone, so that's a kind finish to go with the driveway. Other than that, I'm not sure that I have anything to add. Happy to answer any questions you might have or anything we've been missing here.
All right, this seems to be pretty straightforward. All right, Darcy?
Yeah, I think it is pretty straightforward. I'm not even sure you're going to be able to view it from 28. So I have no questions.
Sam?
from the picture, it's the one with the flanking windows and the double door, 8x12, shouldn't be, it's a little oddly detailed on the end wall, but other than that, I think it's going to be okay, tucked in back of the building.
Doug?
I have no questions.
Jim?
I have no questions.
Steve?
No questions.
I have no questions either.
All right, so Doug Grant will make a motion on additions/alterations, application 23-050, Janice and Sam Payne, application to construct a 8x12 shed located at 15 Evergreen Lane as presented.
Darcy Seacon will second the motion.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded. Darcy?
Darcy approves.
Sam?
Sam Starbird approves.
Doug?
Doug Grattan approves.
Jim?
Tim Gilmore approves.
Steve?
Steve DeBoer approves.
Dan Silver approves as well. Thank you. All right, Sam, where are we now?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir. Good luck.
Have a good day. Appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
Okay, we're on to a project of new construction, 23-49, Robert and Alex Intile, care of William Litchfield Esquire. Application to construct a new garage with living space above, located at 2388 Main Street.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Bill Litchfield.
Good to
here.
see you, Bill.
Nice to be here. It's been a while.
Isn't it, though?
It has been. Here before you, for my clients Rob and Alex and Tilly, and I was looking up there to see if James Bustamante of Longfellow Build and Design was online with us, and he doesn't appear to be. So if there are technical or construction issues that I can't address, we will follow up with them. But my clients propose to build a small garage, 25 by 30, adjacent to their existing home at 2388 Main Street, South Chatham. This time of year, it's visible from away from Route 28. In the summer, less so. It is a fairly straightforward and simple design. Chantel was most cooperative in bringing up the elevation or rendering before I asked her to do so. If you've been out to the site, you know it is a very unlevel site. The house is much higher, and this is going to be built closer to the street level. The house is not visible in that rendering. It's up and behind, above that stone wall. We have some cut sheets, but not all, because we've had some difficulty in finding the exact blue. The existing house is blue, and we're going to match for the cedar shingles, which were proposed for the exterior of the garage. We propose to match the existing blue. It's close to a particular Sherwin-Williams shown there, but it's not exactly that. So whoever does the painting is going to do her or his best to match the existing house. The other details are fairly straightforward. The siding, as I indicated, will be cedar shingles painted blue to match the existing house. The trim will be AZAC painted white. The shutters will be white wood. The retaining wall to the right or north side of the garage will be a veneer, stone veneer to match that at the existing house. The roof shingles will be asphalt, again matching the existing house color. The decking at the rear, which may or may not be visible, is going to be a composite fiber on brown. The gutters are aluminum. The deck at the rear, the material will be a composite, and the rail at the top will be mahogany. That's the gist of what is proposed, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, sir. All right, Darcy?
I have no questions.
All right, Sam?
Yeah, I have a couple. It's usually the garage matches or is in the same style as the home that it serves. But we have no idea what the.
How would you characterize the style of the home that is there?
Craftsman?
To give you the history of the site, it's an older home ostensibly built over 100 years ago. Had a fire in 2017.
Is it a center entrance affair with a double dormer on top, or is it something like that? No.
I'd be hard pressed to characterize the design.
Okay, I'll tell you, the reason I'm
Sure.
I'm looking for that is that the roof line of this garage is a double dormer,
Correct.
but the rake board is flush on the building. But the dormer is a projected rake. And you don't do that. I mean, I don't think that's, because a projected rake acts like a lid on top of the building because visually. And a flush rake takes the surface of the building and brings it up around the roof and makes the membrane of the building, of the exterior, you know, be part of the expression of the building. So you've mixed, by breaking off the roof of the dormer, and it looks in that picture there like the roof of the dormer looms quite a bit and looks out of place. So it would be helpful if the architect could tell me what the overhangs were and why he chose this method of expression, I wouldn't be surprised if it was just a mistake.
Okay. Do you find the same issue with the elevation that you have? Because this, of course, is a rendering, and you have an elevation there.
There's an elevation, and the elevation says the same thing.
Okay. Then unfortunately, unless he has joined us, I cannot respond to that.
Okay? I just have my opinion on,
Go ahead.
see what the other commissioners
Go
have
ahead,
to say.
Leslie?
Get outvoted.
I'm familiar with the property and the property next door, and I'm, eclectic might be a good term.
That's a good one, Mr. Grattan, thank you.
Eclectic, so I certainly feel, looking at this, I'm not an architect, Sam, but I think it complements what's pre-existing and would look very nice together, being, the blue ties into the blue home, and it's good, so I have no questions or no problems with what's presented.
All right, Doug?
One other thing is, there's no trim around the doors, the garage doors. Do you see the shingles, which are oversized, the coursing of the shingles? Now, the coursing of the shingles looks like a 10-inch or a foot course, which is a very coarse course. We're historically, but if the main building if he was matching the main building, and the same point about the dormer roof, but I can't.
Sam, here's a picture of the house.
I had assumed that you had seen the main building. I
Okay.
think Mr. Grattan's characterization is correct.
Okay,
In
there's,
a positive way, Mr. Litchfield,
they're
in a
all,
positive way.
it's all a flush rake. If we, I could vote for this project if we conditioned it that the rakes should all be flush. And they're all, it's a one-story house in the picture there, and the rakes are flush.
I would characterize it as a Cape Ranch.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
that's a good generic terminology. It is one story, although it has, if I recall correctly, there's also an understory,
wanna see it again?
basement sort of thing. But even though it's one story, it's actually much higher in elevation than this structure will be with 1 3/4 stories.
Sam, if it would make you comfortable, we can have Doug condition the motion that the trim of the garage match the trim of the house. Would you be happy with that?
That would make it, there's no dormers on the existing house, so you couldn't really pin them down. But in terms of the trim work, also the blue, it's shingles painted blue.
Yeah.
If that's what they're gonna match, then that would be okay.
Yeah, it's not precisely that Sherwin-Williams Danube.
Oh, there we go.
But it's close to it. Yeah, thank you.
How did you do that? I just jumped out of the machine,
Chantal is extremely skilled.
All right.
And that may be a prior,
I think it is, Bill.
yeah, before the redo, because they are, again, a blue which was done by a prior owner.
Yeah. I don't see the cupola on there, but I suppose this one's okay.
We had an application quite some time ago about this house. so
Chantal and
yeah,
I
it got
spoke about
approved.
that earlier, and there was
Right.
some lack of clarity, and it appears that we didn't do it, but it appears that the blue that the house is currently painted is not the blue that's in the file, but it is there now, and we propose to replicate
Here's
it.
what it is.
Yeah, we need to ask Tim if he has any comments.
You?
I don't have any comments.
No? Steve?
No comment.
You're all set, Doug?
So do you want me to condition the application? And that is for the rake boards of the garage to match
Just
the
the
house?
trim match. The
Trim
Trim on the garage, match the trim on the house.
And around the garage doors
Around the
also?
garage doors, correct?
Not around the garage, well, the garage doors should be
I
1x6.
I would add an exterior detailing. Because the trim, he could make the trim and they could be 6 inches out or 2 inches out, you know, the trim would be the same. It's got to be the exterior detailing that,
Okay.
That, if I may, that may be a little bit broad. Do the specs in the actual elevations, do they answer any of the concerns? Because I think on page, let me look to it, A6, a lot of the information on the doors and so forth, and the windows is all there. I think, you know, that may have some of the information that you want. I have no concern about your proposal, but unfortunately, I can't speak for Alex or Rob, and James unfortunately is not with me to be able to respond.
Sam, there's things like, even on there's no corner boards on the garage. There's no corner boards on the garage.
okay, but there's no trim in the doorway.
Right, yeah, so. I mean,
Which is
there's-
weird.
There's a few
I mean, real
things.
weird.
Right, there's a few things that, and because there's corner boards on the house,
Yeah,
but no corner
that's-
boards on the garage.
that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, so,
Well, if Doug sticks with the garage trim matched the house trim, and that the garage doors have 1x6 trim, and the, what was it, Sam?
Yeah.
What was it? And the
Yeah.
eaves match our eaves are extended? They're extended on the house.
Oh, they are, I thought they were
Well,
flush.
again, that photograph may not be of the current house, but, you know, we can, I can say that that's acceptable to me, and if there's an issue, we would ask to come back in 2 weeks, after I consult with the builder.
Well, it's a shame because the 1x6 around the garage doors are normal. You wouldn't find
Right.
anything else.
Yeah.
But if you want, that's fine.
No, I think if we could go forward and approve with a condition, and if there is an issue, I'll get in touch with Chantel to get on your next agenda.
There's the record.
Amended.
That's fine with me.
Yep.
Okay, so just for clarity for myself, so I'm gonna condition it with the trim on the garage is gonna match the home, and the garage door is gonna have 1x6 trim around the garage doors, is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes, and the garage is to have the overhangs like the house. So
Okay.
that should match the house, yeah.
All right, so under new construction, application 23-049, Robert and Alex Intile, care of William Litchfield Esquire. Application to construct a new garage with living space above located at 2388 Main Street, conditioned with the trim on the garage is to match the home, 1x6 trim around the garage doors, and the overhang on the garage is to match the home.
That's right. yeah.
Darcy Sequin will second the motion.
Okay, motion is made and seconded. Steve?
I will vote to approve as amended.
Darcy?
Darcy Sequin votes to approve as amended.
Okay, Sam?
Sam Stryver votes to approve.
Doug?
Doug Ratton votes to approve?
Tim?
Tim Gilmore votes to approve.
And Jan Silver will vote to approve as well. Thank you.
Thank you. If there are any issues with those conditions, we'll be back in touch, and we appreciate your time.
All right, very good,
Thank
Bill.
you.
Sorry that got a little messy.
Okay,
All right.
so on my agenda, that's all I have, but I know we have no. Okay, so
So Doug Ratton can make a motion to adjourn.
Darcy
Adjourn?
Sequin,
You sure you know where we're going?
I don't know where it goes.
Darcy Sequin will second the motion.
Okay, Darcy?
Darcy Sequin approves.
Sam?
Sam Stryver approves.
Doug?
Doug Ratton approves.
Tim?
Tim Gilmore approves.
Steve approves.
Jan Silver approves. Thank you so much, Chantel. You did a great job.
You did.
Wow,
Thank you.
congratulations. First one, huh?